What I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still counting paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
How do you feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
His career that you have any respect for?
Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work.
50 Cent seems to be enjoying the moment as Rick Ross has just pulled off one of the boldest pranks on Big Meech. Word on the street is that Meech may have betrayed him, yet the real surprise is that everyone except Big Meech appeared to see it coming. The internet is hooked on the drama like it's the season finale of a top-rated reality show. But one has to wonder, what was Meech thinking placing trust in someone with a law enforcement background? Let's break down this unexpected situation.
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would.
Since Rick Ross threw Big Meech under the bus, 50 Cent has been relentless in mocking both Big Meech and Lil Meech on social media. The shocking part? Not long after his release from prison, Big Meech was seen embracing Rick Ross like a hero, completely, disregarding the man who consistently supported him. Despite Ross being one of 50 Cent's oldest rivals, Meech chose to associate with him. While 50 probably didn't expect Meech to treat Ross as a sworn enemy, seeing Meech laughing with him, like they had a 2-decade bond, must have felt like a personal hit. But that wasn't all. Meech twisted the knife even further by aligning himself with Floyd Mayweather, while Lil Meech made pointed comments about real power, seemingly aimed at 50. And this is the same man who gave his son $5 million and helped him stay relevant in the game. Critics might argue that 50 made money using Big Meech's story, but at least he built something with it. As for Rick Ross, aside from maneuvering like a chess master, what has he truly contributed? The moment things began to escalate, Ross vanished almost instantly. Just when the situation got messy, Ross conveniently revealed a shoulder injury, making sure the entire internet knew. Clearly, he saw the blowback coming and chose to manipulate the spotlight to serve his own interests, basking in the attention and boosting his image.
What I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still counting paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
Suddenly,
Like
we're
all of-
expected to feel sympathy for Ross. Things only get weirder from here. That same shoulder injury was not only his excuse to step back from Big Meech, but it also allowed him to sidestep his fans, many of whom felt deceived by his failed cryptocurrency, Boss Token. The online community began calling him Rick Fraud after realizing how he misled supporters who trusted him with their money. Not to mention, the injury just happened to surface days after distancing himself from Big Meech, highly suspicious. The irony here is that Ross was the one urging Meech to reconnect with 50 Cent to secure more income. Now Meech is left with almost nothing, prompting many artists to avoid him like he's carrying bad luck. Even the Wingstop franchises once, thought to be a solid move for Meech, were allegedly sold off by Ross, who quietly kept a few to fund his real estate investments. If Ross hadn't blocked his progress, Big Meech might have had a real shot at rebuilding. Instead, he continued making questionable decisions, while Lil Meech was out spending big on Chrome Hearts jeans, attempting to mimic the lifestyle of stars like Gunna. The result? They lost it all. People online are openly criticizing Big Meech for how quickly his so-called alliance with Ross unraveled. One of the most outspoken voices has been Michael Rainey Jr., who plainly stated that he has no sympathy for either Lil Meech or Big Meech, insisting they're grown men who should have seen this coming. And 50 Cent, he's out there on social media doubling down on all of it.
I feel bad for Lil Meech. I don't feel bad for no grown man in this planning. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the fuck I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too, nigga. You asking for my sympathy for it, nigga. You be alright. Oh, yeah, nigga.
DJ Vlad even pointed out, you don't want to end up on 50's bad side. He'll go to extreme lengths just to prove a point. Everyone knows how intense 50 can get when it comes to his adversaries.
He'll burn it all down if you put him off. His own shit sometimes too. You know, he'll cancel BMF to prove a point. Regardless of how much money he
Big
makes.
Meech isn't the first person Rick Ross has left out to dry. He's done it to his own team, once leaving them behind while he went off to party in Canada, only to return claiming it was a test of loyalty. That's harsh, but consistent with how Ross tends to operate. Even Whack 100 has called him out as the real instigator in this ongoing drama between 50 and Big Meech, saying he's been watching the whole thing unfold from the beginning.
Guy out of all of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad.
No, yes it is. That Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No,
No? You think 50?
no,
Lil Meech.
no.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to.
Rick Ross was never genuinely aligned with Big Meech. His actions suggest he had his own motives. Ross hyped Meech up, pretending to be fully supportive, all while subtly trying to turn him against 50 Cent. He painted a narrative about helping Meech get his finances right, but in reality, it was nothing more than empty talk. As Whack 100 pointed out, if Ross truly intended to help Meech rebuild, he would have kept their dealings discreet. Instead, he was publicly taking shots at 50 and boasting about acquiring rights to the BMF series, something everyone knew he had no intention of actually pursuing. Now, Ross has distanced himself from Meech. His focus appears to be solely on whatever benefits him financially, and Big Meech is no longer part of that equation. Word in the industry even suggests that Ross may have been behind the cancellation of Meech's welcome benefit concert. While many assumed 50 Cent orchestrated it, the real reason might be simpler. Ross didn't want Meech getting all the attention or making a strong return. He likely preferred to keep Meech in the background while he maintained a public image of being supportive. When 50 made that post, only to delete it, saying, "I had nothing to do with this. Stop calling me. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think." Many were skeptical. But now, things are starting to make more sense. Ross once rapped, "I think I'm Big Meech," in his BMF track, and it seems Meech actually believed Ross had his back. That line might have been more revealing than people realized. Consider this. What if Rick Ross didn't just admire Big Meech, but wanted to embody him? Ross has a known pattern of building his persona around the legacies of others, especially high-profile names in hip-hop. Remember, he took the name Rick Ross from a real drug kingpin who was incarcerated at the time. When the actual Rick Ross got out, he challenged the rapper and even tried to sue him. That situation alone raises plenty of questions about Ross's authenticity and loyalty.
How do you feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
Now, let's rewind to 2005. By 2010, the original Rick Ross, the infamous figure from the 1980s, filed a lawsuit against rapper Rick Ross for using his name without permission, claiming identity theft and trademark violation. Despite the allegations, the rapper insisted he invented the name himself. Fast forward to 2013, and the court ruled in the rapper's favor, citing First Amendment protections. As a result, William Leonard Roberts II retained the Rick Ross name, and the real Rick Ross lost the case. Given all this, it's not far-fetched to think Ross might have been attempting something similar with Big Meech. After all, he released that track declaring, "I think I'm Big Meech," then quickly aligned himself with Meech upon his release, presenting himself as an ally. But when it came time to genuinely support Meech's comeback, there was silence. This entire situation mirrors what happened with Larry Hoover in 2021. Ross leveraged Hoover's name, another legendary figure in the streets, for credibility in his music, despite Hoover still being incarcerated. It's rumored Ross even paid off members of the Gangster Disciples to keep using Hoover's name without conflict. However, when real support was needed for Hoover's cause, Ross was noticeably absent. Instead of getting involved, he capitalized on Hoover's name and gave nothing in return. That incident drew widespread criticism, and many still call Ross out for not showing up at the stadium when it mattered. Now history appears to be repeating itself. It's no surprise 50 Cent once said he never respected Ross on a personal level. The truth is, Ross's track record suggests he can switch sides at any given moment.
His career that you have any respect for?
Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with.
As 50 continues to work on new ventures and build his wealth day by day, he's likely sitting back and quietly observing the chaos unfold without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, Big Meech and Lil Meech are moving from one celebrity to the next, reportedly asking for financial help just to stay afloat. But perhaps the most ironic twist is this. Rick Ross had been mocking 50, thinking he couldn't get a loan to fund his film studio. Yet just days ago, that very loan was approved. Now Ross is witnessing firsthand that 50 isn't someone to underestimate. Fans are convinced Ross must be frustrated, especially after he was bragging about acquiring 50's masters just
I'll buy your
weeks earlier.
masters.
In hindsight, that claim now seems pretty
I'll
far-fetched.
buy your masters.
When it comes to Lil Meech and Big Meech, it's clear a few hard lessons have started to register, although it may be too late for 50 to welcome Lil Meech back or step in to support Big Meech at this point. One person who's been consistently vocal about this whole situation is Zip with the Drip. From early on, he recognized that 50 was dropping subtle warnings about Big Meech and anticipated the fallout. He called it early, suggesting that things would eventually spiral and that Ross would distance himself from Meech. Fast forward to today, and it seems he wasn't wrong. Many fans are now talking about the situation, with the general feeling being that Meech's time in the spotlight is over, especially since his one real chance at a comeback fell apart. You'd think the years Big Meech spent behind bars would have brought some clarity, or at least a smarter way to move in today's world. But surprisingly, it's gone the other way. One viewer summed it up perfectly. So let me get this straight. Karma looks like a former correctional officer switching up on a former inmate, and one shady character getting checked by another. And now, with Karma seemingly catching. Up to everyone involved, the question remains, will Big Meech seek payback against Rick Ross, or will he let it slide? He's also facing criticism for allegedly cutting ties with his longtime friend Cuffy. What's your take on all this? Share your thoughts in the comments. We're always interested in what you have to say. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more exclusive updates, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out. Until next time, stay informed and stay connected.